Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is the reading for the 4-6 Human Design Profile. If you don't know what your profile is, there's a link in the description for you to get your Human Design Body Graph, and your profile will be one of the bits of information on there about you. Definitely be sure to check out your zodiac sign readings too if they're not up already. They will be, hopefully, in the next few days. I just need one card. There's been a few cards that have popped out. So anyway, what else? Let's just get you an oracle card and then we'll go from there. Ooh. Wisdom. I love the pearl there. I just like her chewing on something, because isn't that what a pearl, I could be wrong, isn't that what a pearl is made out of? Is like, is that, like saliva or something, right? Like a grain of sand or something like gets inside of the shell, and then is it a clam or mussel? I don't know what the difference is, but it like produces this stuff and it like wraps the grain of sand or whatever it is that got into there. It wraps it up in that as like a protective thing. We have the 5 of Swords. Interesting. I could be so wrong about that. We have the Devil card. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the 5 of Cups under the 5 of Swords. Interesting. We have the King of Swords under the Devil card. Ha! Whoops. Oops. Way too many. And then the Knight of Pentacles. 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Ace of Cups. 4 of Swords. King of Cups. Strength. I feel like my shirt is lopsided. So let's see what this Wisdom card is talking about. It says, wisdom arises from life experience, and some of it is hard-earned, but our journeys provide us with the tailored knowledge we each need. Lessons on our journey will be repeated until they are learned, so pay attention when you notice a pattern in your life. There are usually lessons that still need to be integrated. As we grow older, our looks change and our bodies don't work as well as they once did, but wisdom is gained, formless and timeless. Those who have it will always be rich, and those who share the wisdom will never be lonely. We do not receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves after a journey which no one else can make for us. No one else can make for us, which no one can spare us. Marcel Proust. I don't know why that kind of confused me for a second, but here we are. I do want to look up oysters. I didn't even say the word oyster, did I? Clam or mussel. I don't even know what the difference is. Whatever. Pearl oysters create pearls when a hard particle is coated with calcium carbonate after entering the oyster. The oyster creates its, I don't know what that word is, NACRE, necre? In order to cover irritants that enter its shell. This irritant is often an invading worm or a bead placed there by a human pearl farmer. That's interesting. I like that, the sound of a bead being placed in there versus, a worm. So let's see. I was looking up like the totem message for a pearl. And wisdom is one of the words. Purity, wisdom, and spiritual transformation. Plus, the round shape of pearls is often linked to the moon, which is believed to have feminine energy associated. Formation, charity, honesty, integrity. The pearl represents the journey of the soul and the spirit along the path to perfection. That feels very unalome. Interesting. What I was like kind of snickering about before, so we have the 5 of Swords, right? We have the sun putting the moon at like sword point. And then in the King of Swords, we can see they're both up there. The King of Swords, this is a star. And then we can see the sun and the moon, in balance and harmony in something. So it's interesting because we have the Five of Swords, the Five of Cups together. So we have 2 fives for one. Fives are transitionary energies. It means you're moving through something, but it's change. So it can be uncomfortable. And usually, like the fives in the minor arcana, they are usually like tougher energies because, again, transformation. You're moving through one energy onto another, and the stuff that comes along with that. So you might be seeing fives, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, So we have the Five of Swords, the Five of Cups, and then the Devil. And then like after the Devil card though, it's almost like it opens up. We have the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and then the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And interestingly enough, something in this made me think of the 10 of Wands. Maybe not. I wish I would have. Anyway, we'll get to it. I feel like I'm just kind of like bouncing all over the place, which is, it's fine. But so the Five of Swords. Swords have to do with our mind, our thoughts, ideas, beliefs. Swords are also about truth and honesty, but like objective, divine truth. I also see swords as being the suit of ego because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds, and our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, and whether they're ours or not, and whether they're true or not. But it becomes the reason why we do things and we don't do things. It's also the filter that experiences, stimuli, information, whatever, like it goes into or comes into our existence, into our consciousness, and then it goes through the filter of our ego. And then that kicks out some story about our reality based on past shit, right? So with all that being said, and then what I said before about fives being transitionary energies, I see the Five of Swords as a battle of wits. There is generally some sort of conflict here. It could be competition. Clearly the sun has the moon at knife point or sword point, like I said. And interestingly enough too, right, like in astrology, our sun is like our personality, like how, we are portrayed or how people see us. It's an illuminary, right? So it shines light on something. And then the moon is our emotional body and our intuition, how we process emotions, right? So it's interesting because this really does feel like an internal battle. I know we're talking about human design too. So, if you're familiar with your human design, you can see what gates occupy your sun and your moon on both sides, on your conscious and unconscious, on the personality and the design side, and read about those and see if there's any type of information in there that just might be helpful to move you through these energies. But like I said, it really does feel like a battle within yourself. And all of the cards on the table besides this one only have one figure in them. So again, this could of course be you and somebody else. It's almost kind of like whoever this other person is. This could be you, this could be another person. They could be forcing an idea on you, They could be trying to change a truth They could be, almost trying to get you to, almost like get you to discover a truth within yourself, but it comes from like applying pressure. There's this whole story between the sun and the moon, like through the suit of swords, which is cool, but also like, if you don't have a ton of swords on the table, it can be kind of confusing because you like enter or you read about like the middle of the story. So it says confrontation, misdirection of emotions, anger, holding a grudge. After many days, the sun comes down to confront the moon. He blames the moon for letting the star fall, since it was under her watch in the night sky. The sun's misplaced anger fuels him to act upon his impulsive intentions. Confrontation. Right, and especially too, right, let's say that this is somebody who, it's like they're trying to push you to, and like I said, anyway, like, creating pressure because maybe they believe that in doing so, you'll discover a truth about yourself, or you'll come to believe whatever they think is true, if that makes sense, right? So anyway, so they're creating this pressure. I totally lost my train of thought. Let me read from the book. I hate that. I mean, it is gone. After many days, the sun comes down to confront the moon. He blames the moon for letting the star fall, since it was under her watch in the night sky. The sun's misplaced anger fuels him to act upon his impulsive intention. Yes. So what I was getting at is misplaced, frustration, bitterness, anger, whatever, the not self theme for your type is, but it's almost like this thing of resistance. Maybe it's something that it's like you maybe already know. There's a truth in you already that it's there, but you don't, for whatever reason, you don't want to either admit it or give it attention or unveil it, whatever. That's really interesting. And it could be a prior hurt, a prior, disappointment. It could be shame, guilt. Cups are about our emotions, and the Five of Cups is about grieving, loss, depression, abandonment. Interestingly enough, in this Five of Cups, there's 3 cups that have not been flipped over yet and 2 that have. On the traditional tarot, it's the other way around. In traditional depictions of the Five of Cups, there's 3 cups that have been overturned and 2 cups that are still left untouched. And the message, I think it still applies either way, but the message is we're so focused on the cups that have spilt over that we're not even giving enough attention, energy, emotion to the cups that are still there. And maybe these things were really chaotic. Maybe they were really hurtful. Maybe you did try things and it didn't work out the way that you hoped or that you wanted to, and it just kind of zapped you. Self-pity, pessimism, grief, sadness. And the book says, many days pass and the young elephant begins to slump into depression, giving way to a barrage of pessimistic thoughts. Would his parents ever come back? The little elephant's feelings swallow him into darkness, filling him with sadness and a deep grief for the blissful life he once had. Obviously, there's a story of the elephants through the cups. I mean, there's a story through all of them. The stones with the pentacles. There's a story that goes along with that. Wands. Yeah. So, again, though, right? I mean, there could just be something coming up for you lately where it's like literally a core wound. It's like the big one like, or one of the bigger ones. Like if you have been doing the work for some time, I feel like it never really ends, right? I mean, you get like a reprieve for a while, but as you're going along, you're experiencing new things, maybe you're making new decisions, you're seeing things from a different perspective, whatever, it is, but then an experience or an opportunity or you meet somebody, whatever it is, and it just kind of it itches something else, or it goes even a little bit deeper into something. And I'm saying all of this because, again, we have the swords with our mind, we have the cups with our body. So there's something that it's living in our minds. It's been a part of our ego. It's been a part of what we believe to be true in some capacity. And then, it's the emotional body and how that has been integrated into our emotional body and how we react either emotionally or just physically within ourselves. And because we have the Devil card next, this is Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces right now. So, wherever Pisces is for you, I mean, wherever Capricorn is for you too. Again, I know this is like human design, but the Devil card talks about, this is what's so interesting. Like, remember when I was like, we're doing the work, we're releasing, we're discovering more about ourselves, we're living more in our truth. So, we're making different decisions, we're having different experiences, we're, doing things, right? And along our path, things might just come up that it activates that wound, or it just kind of itches something a little deeper in that. That's what this is. Because it does look like you would have to kind of cross him, right? And I actually believe that that's what the book talks about, is coming up to. It says self-sabotage, insecurities, materialism, dependence. Small little devil nagging you and preying on your insecurities. The devil greets the fool with the flaws that make us human. Addiction, materialism, overinflated egos, fears, insecurities, and self-sabotage. The devil teaches that these self-inflicted parts of life may make us human, but can also greatly hold us back from attaining greatness. But it seems like, do you see what I'm saying though, right? Like, if you were walking along this path, this devil would be like, bah, hold up. Right? You have to get past me first. So again, and with this coming after the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups, there really is this opportunity here for you to deal with whatever the devil is for you, whether it is a limiting belief, whether it is insecurity, self-sabotage, whatever it is for you. The things that, it's almost like, chaining us to even a way of living, because maybe in the past we approached things in a certain way and it worked. So we're like, we should do that again. But also, I don't want to do it in that capacity. I want to have that same result, but maybe not the same, experience or the same path. But that's the thing, right? Like, if you do it the same way, you're going to get the same result and you're going to end up in the same position. So it's kind of like thinking too, like, okay, so what did work about that? And how did I approach that? And how can I take those lessons and take those skills or take those wins even, right? Because even with the wisdom card, right? Like, I learned something about that. So how can I apply that to this? And you do. Okay? Because we have the King of Swords here, which is interesting because I would see the King of Swords as being the wisdom card. There's a level of mastery when we get to Kings. It says recovery, clarity, cohesiveness, regeneration. Reunited, the sun and moon offer their own light to the star in a way that neither could have done on their own. The star then creates his brothers and sisters in the night sky, giving birth to the universe of stars we know today. The moon has taught the sun an invaluable lesson in patience and coexistence. And since then, the sun and the moon have existed in perfect harmony. I really think this is you against yourself. Maybe too, like, because you do have the fourth line. The fourth line is about community, networking, other people, right? The sixth line is role model, wisdom. Two, that's the goal. So, but maybe you are like approaching this in some aspect where you are breaking down relationships in some capacity where, but really it has nothing to do with the actual relationship. It has to do with you. And that can be any type of relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be, of course, a romantic relationship. It could be a business. It's something to do with your family, right? I mean, whatever that relationship, of course, a relationship with yourself, but it's like you're learning about yourself through observing yourself in relationship, maybe. Whatever it is, though, there is this clarity that, because I don't think, I just don't think that like the sun and the moon type of thing, like I said, we all have the sun and the moon in our charts and they represent different aspects of us. So there's this cohesiveness, which is a word that was described with the King of Swords, that is coming together. And then it's giving you the ability to create something. Because like it said, the sun and the moon come together, and then the star is able to produce more stars, which in turn creates the universe. That's so interesting. I hope that made sense. I could not repeat that if I had to. And then we move on to the Queen of Wands. Wands have to do with action, motivation. The motivation behind the actions that we take, it's fire, right? Creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see Wands as being the suit of information by way of experience, which in turn turns into wisdom, right? Because truly, in order to know if we like a thing, if something works, we have to try. We have to try the thing. We have to do the thing. We have to take action towards the thing. We also have to leave space and leave room for things to change. Because just because you've been doing things a certain way, or you did them a certain way in the past, right? And just because they worked doesn't mean that that's the approach that needs to go into whatever is coming up. But there's still wisdom to be gained in that experience. It's just not carbon copying it. Because even this, right, she's like dancing to the beat of her own drum. She's creating it with this wand here, though. I see the queens as being like when we embody the energy of the suit ourselves, we recognize it within ourselves, we learn to master it. And the Queen of Wands for me is confident, expressive, and again, she's taking the things that she has tried and she's allowing them to move her. It is really like even just a clarity of even the actions that you do want to take, what you do actually want to do, what you do actually want to put your energy into, maybe some things that need to change. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. So it could be a job. It's also our time. And where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's our health, anything that we place value on, anything that we place worth on, which again is also involving our time, our resources. And he's holding this stone there. I wonder, let me see. It says responsibility, commitment, protective, hardworking. Beneath the sea, a coral creature takes hold of an old stone, inscribed with an unrecognizable glyph, perhaps eroded from years of being underwater. The coral creature understands the value of this stone where others may not. It knows that this stone would bring shelter and new life to the environment, so it takes the stone in its hands and carries it onward. You know what is so fucking fascinating too is that, okay, hold on, let me, beneath the sea, a coral creature takes hold of an old stone. Beneath the sea, right? When we think water, water is cups. So it even is like tying back to this Five of Swords. This could even be you know, like holding your emotions hostage and being like, what do you want? Right? And then your emotions are like, I don't know. Oh, I tried these two things and they just weren't the thing, so I don't want to, you know. There's still these 3 cups here that I have to get through, and I don't know if I can do it because... But then you do, and you're like, aha! You get your shit together. You balance, you know, your motivation, your sun, you know, what you want to illuminate in your life. You balance that with your emotional body, because truly, in your body, in your intuition, you know what you want to do. It's just how to do it, or if it's even possible to do it, or even the commitment that it would take is what is, you know, I mean, it tends to hold us back sometimes. Anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the whole tarot. Anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, I always kind of go on this little tirade about, if that's a word, tirade. I get on my soapbox about not giving up on something if you don't see fast results. It's like posting one video on social media and it not going viral, and you're like, it's a failure. What? Like... And you're like, I'm never going to do that again. No. That's just one example. I'm not saying that you need to start posting on like social media unless you want to. But, you know, or applying for a couple jobs and not getting a call back. Or interviewing for a couple jobs and not getting a call back. Or, you know, going on a couple dates and them not working out. It's like, right? So it's like, don't attach time or the return to like what is possible. Because again, like anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, things might be moving slowly. In your world, you might be like, man, this is just not kind of going at the pace that I was expecting it to, or that I wanted it to, or that I envisioned it going. The Knight of Pentacles is like, you have to stay committed to it. Be dedicated to your vision, to your, again, I mean, they're under the sea. They picked up this rock here because they knew, whatever the story said, they know that this is like the perfect fit for something. And they wouldn't have even come across this rock if they didn't keep moving forward. And then they discover this little hermit crab. And they're like, oh, hey, what's up? They made a friend, you know? Keep going, whatever it is. Whether it is even still like working through your own shit and getting clear or whatever, like if it feels like that process has been taking forever, keep going. Keep going. we have the ace, or the ace. We do have the Ace of Cups behind the Ten of Wands. Tens are completion. Wands are everything that we talked about with wands. The Ten of Wands talks about burden. It's an uphill battle, right? I mean, like he's walking uphill with all these wands on his back, but he's doing it, right? There's this lightning back here. Again, there's this thing about committing to a thing, no matter what is like happening around you. And like I said, tens are also completion. And I always see the Ten of Wands as being all those experiences and lessons that we learned from the Ace of Wands through the Nine of Wands. And some of that shit can be heavy, and some of it does feel like a burden. But this is also wisdom, because now you know. You know what works and what doesn't work for you, for other people, whatever. You do have all this experience to take with you. You have the capacity to carry those wands up this hill in this storm. Is it ideal? Probably not. But you can do it. And we know that because we have the Ace of Cups behind the Ten of Wands. These two elephants, meeting over this Ace of Cups here. Aces are new. Aces come after the 10, although, it's a Ten of Wands. It's not the same suit, but it still counts. New emotion, expressing yourself, which we were talking about with the Queen of Wands. But this is also expressing yourself emotionally, vulnerability, empathy, compassion, grace, all those things. Budding love, explosion of feelings. Long ago, the first two elephants met at a glowing pool of water. Trunks entangled, they danced in the midday sun in celebration of the bliss of being alive. Emotions swirling, the elephants rejoice in their connection and feel an explosion of new feelings. Granted, it could be romantic. It doesn't have to be. It could just even be, the emotional capacity to want to deal with other people. You are meant to deal with other people because you have the fourth line on the personality side, on the conscious side. You are meant to mingle with people. You're meant to have a network. With the sixth line, you're meant to bring your wisdom to those people. That's this. So again, it could just be having the emotional capacity, the emotional space, the care and the interest to even do that. And we have the Four of Swords behind that, which is about healing, giving yourself a break. Interestingly enough, we have the King of Cups behind that, and then the Strength card, and then the High Priestess, and then the Queen of Cups. But what's interesting about this King of Cups is that there's this sword on the ground, and they're holding two things. It's either the staff is that what it's called? This thing that the devil is holding, kind of looks like that a little bit, right? Or it's a wand. And of course, I'm probably not going to be able to. Okay, there's not a single wand. Okay. There's not a single. It doesn't quite look like that. But anyway, so it's interesting because, again, cups, water, emotions. It's, a king. So it's the highest expression of the suit. So being emotionally available, it's emotional maturity, empathy, intuition, really being in tune with that. There's a starburst behind them. So it's like really standing in your power, but also walking on your truth, because it looks like this elephant is about to step on the sword. And to me, it feels like walking in your truth and having intention, like allowing your passions and creativity to like move you forward. And it could be even mastering whatever that devil card was for you. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, truly, for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.